Hey, Programming 11. I just wanted to go over the new assignment to make sure everybody knows what's going on. I haven't created the assignment yet, but I'm going to do that right after I make this video, so you'll be able to check that out. But the description of the project, the third project, the personal animation project, is all available, and hopefully you've been working on it. And if you aren't sure where all this stuff is, I'm going to show you right now. So take a look with me. I'm going to go into Programming 11 team. And in general, what you should be doing every day is actually going to the General channel and then click on Class Notebook. It's got a list of all the things you're supposed to do each day. It's got some other nice links in here. You know, your in-person versus online schedule, what a daily timetable looks like, processing, and eventually use GitHub. But then it's got like a day-to-day, like, hey, here's what you're supposed to do on these days. So if we scroll down to Tuesday, it explains about the third project. This is one of what is called a sketchbook project. So we'll have a few sketchbook projects through the year where you get to call the shots. You are going to design the final product. You're not going to copy from me or anything like that. You're going to be like, really bringing it all. And the actual assignment project description and rubric is here. So do click on that. I will read it through together to make sure everybody understands. I was saying it's not complete. I don't know how much it's going to change, to be honest. I might not make any changes, but if I do, I'll let you know. And then I have some videos for you to check out. These are various advanced animation techniques, and I mentioned here that you do not have to use all of these techniques in your project number 3. They are here for you to experiment with and learn from, and some of them are quite useful, and I think you'll enjoy doing them. But you don't have to put all of these into your project. So I have a whole bunch here. Today's video, I have 4 more. And if you don't use them all, that's okay. But they're a nice place to go and get some techniques. Because part of the assessment of this project is its complexity. So you're going to want to put in new stuff for sure. This is some new stuff for you to check out. I think they're just good techniques and excellent practice in programming in general. So yeah, check them out just because they're awesome. Cool things to do. So I'll go over to the actual marking or the assignment description page, I guess. I don't know. I'm not sure. Whoa, here we go. So here's the PDF. I'll zoom in. I'm not sure. So here's the deal. Maybe I can zoom in more so you can actually see. So this is, again, the third project, and I'm calling it the personal animated image because you're going to use what you've learned about for processing and all the drawing and animation stuff to create an original animated image. And the point is it's supposed to illustrate who you are. And you may wish, you don't have to explore all these ideas, but here are some ideas that you could explore in your animation. You can choose one of these. You could choose a few of these. You could choose none of these and choose a different one too. So feel free to change it and shake it up. So here's some examples. What do you care about? Maybe there's an important social movement that you're really interested in. Maybe there is a hobby. Maybe you love folk dancing. I don't know. Like whatever it is you care about, like you can make an animation all about that. Who are your heroes? You can make an animation about somebody that you think is amazing. Where do you come from and where do you want to go in life? Like in terms of like geographical location, but it could also be, any sort of concept of coming and going. What do you do in your spare time? Do you do games? Do you play a lot of poker? I don't know what you do, but like if there's something that you really love in your spare time, you can make an animation about that. Maybe you want to show what you want to be when you grow up. Maybe you have plans to be a doctor or a programmer, and so you can make an animation about that career choice or that field you want to go into. How about food? Sushi. Love that sushi. Also love peanut butter and jam sandwiches. Do not mix the two together. I discovered the hard way that peanut butter and jam sushi is not a good mix. But you can make an animation about the food that you love, and I don't know, have like a hamburger getting made or sushi floating in the air. I'm not too sure what you want to do with that, but something could happen there. What challenges do you face? Maybe you've had a life of with lots of difficult challenges, and you want to share those with me and create an animation about that. And last but not least, what scares you? Maybe you are terrified of spiders or balloons. I recently discovered you can be scared of balloons. I personally am not scared of balloons. I won't tell you which teacher at Lord Bing is scared of balloons, but there is a teacher. And if you find that out, then that's fun for you, I guess. Anyways, these are just some ideas, and you can add in your own idea if you don't like any of these ones. And the idea is you're going to combine what we have learned so far in the course, so the stuff from Project 1 and Project 2, and these new advanced techniques. So like the videos that I've been posting in the last couple of days, those are examples of new advanced techniques. You can also discover your own techniques, your own research. In fact, to get full marks on the project, you probably, like to get like the 100%, you probably do want to add in your own touches, things that you have been finding out from the processing website, which is linked also in the class notebook. And you basically end up making an animated picture of yourself and in one of these contexts. So we are already working on this project. On Tuesday was our first class to work on this. Today, Wednesday, is class number 2, and Thursday will be class number 3. And then I'm going to assign it over the weekend, so you'll be able to work on that over the long weekend if you want to. Please don't feel that you have to, but that is an option for you if you want to take it. This is the rubric. It's basically going to be marked on 3 axes: creativity, complexity, and organization and structure. So creativity is, how original, how detailed and interesting is your animation. It's kind of subjective, so I will be marking it with an eye towards, if you are being really creative, you're coming up with a unique animation that doesn't look like previous projects. As you really kind of get out there, things are detailed. You're putting a lot of effort into the little details of the project, either the visuals, like designing really cool things, or the way they move, the math that's involved, like adding in lots of interesting details. It should be like interesting. That could be all sorts of interpreted different ways, and also taking risks. Don't just do the same old thing. If you do the same old thing, it's not very original, is it? So yeah, looking for originality, details, and some kind of risk being taken to make a cool project. Complexity is going to be worth double marks. So creativity is marked out of 4, complexity is marked out of 8. So a lot of the marks come from here. So we're looking for making a project that has quite a bit of code in it. Should be bigger than our previous projects. And we're looking for complexity both in terms of what you're trying to accomplish and the code as well. So using those advanced animation techniques is an example of a way to get complexity marks. And if you want to get full marks, you're going to do a little independent research. And I have a website where you can do that. You can also just Google processing and see what's out there. Please make sure you don't just copy and paste stuff that you don't understand. If you see a cool technique out there in the world, and you have no idea how it works, or even if you just have just some idea, but you don't know the whole story, don't put it in your code. If you do put it in your code, you better know how it works. And you should always credit any external code. But if you didn't write it, probably shouldn't put it in unless you are modifying it and you're showing your understanding. And be prepared to explain how it works if it's in your code. If you can't explain how it works, if you don't understand it, don't put it in, because that's technically plagiarism, so watch out. So don't do research that way. The way you should do research is learn about other techniques and bring them into processing and make them your own. That's the way to do it. So complexity is out of 8. And organization and structure, this is all about, so far we've been exploring organizing our code through comments, line breaks, white space we called it. Also things like variable names and function names should be descriptive. So don't just call it x1, x2, x3, x4, x5, x6, and then some of the y coordinates are called x. Like, oh no, please don't do that. Try to pick descriptive names. They don't have to be super long necessarily, but do put some thought into what you're naming your variables and what you're naming your functions. And also making sure things are organized. Using functions actually is a great way to get marks. So, compartmentalizing your code into sub-functions is a fantastic way to organize your code, just like we do in some of the videos. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, making your own functions, check out those videos. They're in what's it called? The class notebook. We talk about making your own functions in September. Here it is, 22nd. We're going to do it in lesson 4B when we're doing moving complex shapes. So you can check that out to find out what I'm talking about. Okay, folks, that's basically what the project's all about. There's no wrong animation to make. Just make it about yourself. Make it interesting, unique, and complex. Make sure your code is organized and thoughtfully created, and you'll do great. Thanks, Programming 11. I hope that's clear. Ask questions if it's not, though, in the discussion channel, or make an appointment to see me in Flex Time, and we will figure it out together. Okay, thanks, everybody.